All right, welcome to another very fantastic edition of your program, Hitches and Voices. This is a program that brings spotlight on issues around persons with disability, and is proudly brought to you by Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disabilities, NAVID. NAVID is a household name when it comes to disability advocacy in Nigeria. And on Hitches and Voices, it's our delight to bring you another edition of the program. And our focus today will be on debunking myths and stereotypes or misconceptions around persons with disability. Obviously, I'm not alone in the studio today. With me in the studio, I have Becky Mamedu. She will be joining me in the conversation today. Becky, welcome to Hitches and Voices.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
And I would like to also say Happy Teachers' Day. This might be coming a bit too early. I know Teachers' Day is just around the corner on the 5th of October. I guess that's the day we celebrate our teachers. And I want to use this medium to say congratulations to all teachers out there, particularly teachers who major in special education. We want to celebrate you on this platform today. We want to thank you for the work you do for children with disability, or what they call children with special needs all over the country. If you are a special education teacher, we are sending a big congratulations to you, and we are saying thank you on behalf of persons with disability in Nigeria. And to say, if you want to go into the noble profession of teaching, I guess you should consider special education. It's indeed a very exciting profession. It's indeed a very exciting course as well. And another congratulations also goes to our sign language interpreter. She's already seated. Cynthia Godwin-Aya is our sign language interpreter on the program. And she bagged an award recently from the Okonofwa Foundation, Best Special Teacher in Edo State. I wish I could give a round of applause to her. Well, congratulations to our sign language interpreter, Cynthia Godwin-Aya, for backing that award. It shows that the community of persons with disability, we recognize what you do for us. And people also who don't even have any form of disability, they also recognize what you do for the disability community. And I know that you are very popular among the deaf community as well. They celebrate you a lot as one of their own. And so we want to say a very big thank you to you from us here on Hitches and Voices. So back to the subject matter for today, debunking myths and misconception about persons with disability. The reason I'm particularly excited about today's topic is that it's a topic that will enlighten you, that will educate you, and that will clear your doubts. Maybe you had some doubts, some common misconceptions people have about persons with disability. And it's no fault of yours. Sometimes we are born to this misconception. It's what society has, it's a perception, it's a norm that society has come to adopt. And people only change their minds when they have interactions with persons with disability. Without that interaction, they run away with all form of assumption about us. And that is why on this platform, we try as much as we can to give that awareness about persons with disability. Just in case one person out there can take advantage of that awareness and change the world for persons with disability. Like we always say, a society that is fit for one is a society that is fit for all. So Becky will be taking us through some of these myths and misconceptions, and we're just going to be having a conversation, and hope that you enjoy our presentation today.
Okay, thank you, Kinsley. And very true, persons with disability face different misconceptions every single day. And one thing I always say is when people are not informed, they do not know what to do. So we have to share things like this, talk about the misconception, and give them the truth so they know what to do and what not to say and what not to do. I feel like with these misconceptions, persons with disabilities are told how to act, what to do, what to say, what they can or cannot do, and that is wrong. No human should be forced to act a certain way or do a certain thing because they are living with disability. So we're going to be reading a couple of them, and I would love you to share your perspective on them, Mr. Kinsley. Okay, so one of them is, disability is a curse or a punishment. I've heard this a lot of times.
I guess that's the major one.
Yes.
And it's sad because To think that in this age and time, people still feel that way, that disability is a curse and a punishment. And that was a perception people held during the medieval era. I remember in my study, when I did special education at the time, we were told that disability had to go through phases. We had a phase called the annihilation period, where if you are born in that era, you are fit for two purposes as a male. Either you are fit for an agricultural purpose or for military purpose. And so having a child with a disability is, as at the time, it was of no use. You can't be good in agriculture, you can't go to war. So at that time, they just take the children and eliminate them. That was a period, what they called the annihilation period. But we've since passed that time. And people who even practiced all of that in the Roman time or the Greek era. They've embraced disability. They've seen it as an opportunity to create an environment where all man can strive and share equal opportunity. But it's sad that people still believe that disability is a curse, it's a punishment. And even scripture, for those who are religious, I mean, Jesus answered that question when I think the disciples asked,
yes, why is this man blind?
Why is he blind? Whose sin is this? Is it because of the sin of the parents? Of course, Jesus did not agree with that and told them that it's just so that God will glorify himself in his life. And God glorifies himself in our lives every day. Yes. I mean, what more glory will I be asking for than sitting here and doing what I'm doing? That's God glorifying himself in my life. So that's just speaking religiously. But we've since passed that time. Technology has evolved. Technology has made nonsense of the misconception people have about disability. We are in a world where we can function equally with our so-called able-bodied counterpart. So that definitely is one myth or misconception that does not hold water.
Yes, and then you mentioned something about the Bible passage that talks about it is all for the glory of God. I think this will take me to my second question, another myth, where people say every person with a disability should be prayed for, and the more prayers they get, there is an opportunity for them to get better or get healed. What do you have to say about that?
Well, that's debatable. People have their religious belief, and if somebody is convinced or somebody truly believes that prayer can eliminate his disability, well, you cannot question the person's belief. But what we advocate for and what we try to educate a person's disability when they call for rehabilitation or counseling is that you must embrace your disability. You must accept it as a part of your life. It is not a curse. It is not a limitation. It does not deter you from attaining, what you want to attain in life. But whether you believe that prayers can take it away, that's personal to you. But while you are relying on that, don't resign to faith. That is the whole essence.
Yes. And resigning to faith, I have something to say about that. But I feel like when people focus so much on the prayer, I'm a very religious person myself, so I believe prayer does a lot for us. But when you focus too much on that prayer, I think you get to lose a lot for yourself, because there are a lot of persons living with disability that are striving, doing great things in life, and you're just waiting for that healing. Instead for you to get to work, do what you can do, get education. Mr. Kingsley will always say education is an enabler. Get that education. Okay, while you're waiting for the prayer, waiting for the miracle, get to work. Don't wait and say, okay, let me sit for miracle to come. Like, there's this, now that we are talking about the Bible, there's this story in the Bible where the man was always waiting close to the pool for someone to carry him into the pool when the pool was dead. If he had been doing something else and while waiting, it would have been good, but he was there for years waiting for that miracle. So I would say, wait for the miracle, but while waiting, get to work, do something.
Somebody shout hallelujah.
Glory. And I think we should move over to our next. Another one is that persons with disabilities are always dependent and they are not independent.
No, that's not true. I mean, it's sad sometimes because when I walk around and people notice that some of us have spouses, we have relatives, they tend to think that we must be a burden to our spouse, to our relatives, to our siblings. we are very independent. We do not depend on people to. So of course, as persons with disabilities, sometimes we have our physical limitation. We might need certain assistance here and there, but that does not automatically mean that we are completely dependent on people. Personally, I really don't know what I really would depend on people to do for me, whether domestically or otherwise. Of course, I can't deny the fact that sometimes I need people to assist me here and there. But there's just like every other person would need assistance as well.
True.
So, but there's so many things I can do on my own. People still wonder whether we can take our bath ourselves. People wonder whether we can press our clothes. People wonder whether we can, little things that.
How do you use your gadgets?
Yes, people even ask me, how do you use your phone? You say you use a laptop, how do you use it? But I don't even have a problem with that. I mean, those ones are things that I feel like people might not necessarily know. But there are normal things I feel people should ordinarily know, but they still have misconception about those things. People even wonder whether we go to school or whether we can be educated. People doubt the fact that can we get married? Can we live normal life? Can we have social lives? For example, people see someone with a disability maybe in a club and they wonder, oh, he's happy
what are you doing here?
What is he doing here? You know, the assumption that we are sad people is not true. We are not sad people. And you know, when people see us, they just seeing us, they think we carry our disability on our head. And they automatically start feeling sorry for us on our behalf. You know, and so that's not necessarily true. We are very independent. We can do things for ourselves, and you know, that's pretty much how it is.
It is what it is. And then moving on to another. Okay, so I feel like this is one that a lot of people have, this particular misconception is, can we talk about the elephant in the room? Like when I meet a visually impaired person, am I allowed to ask questions relating to their disability, or should I just act like it's not there? Just act like you're not seeing it. The elephant in the room is not there. So are we allowed to ask questions? Is it wrong to ask questions?
Well, I don't think it's wrong. I would speak on behalf of a lot of persons with disability, although I can't speak for everybody. But I think most persons with disability don't find it offensive when you ask them about their disability. Personally, I go through that experience, you know, a lot. When people want to ask me how did it happen or what happened, they tend to think that I personally will feel bad about it. Maybe it will remind me of a sad event, or it will remind me of something I don't want to remember. So they tend to be very sober about it. Wow, sorry, I want to ask you something. Hope you won't feel bad. And I already know what the question is. And I'm like, go, you want to ask me about X, Y, Z? And they're like, oh, so when I start talking about it, they realize that I don't feel bad about it at all. And I'm even eager to talk about it. We are quite excited to talk about our disability because it is an avenue for us to educate and enlighten people out there. So approaching us and asking us about our disability is not about it. However, it must be timely. Sometimes you should read the room. Sometimes you should also look for the right moment to do so. But to think that you cannot ask us is something that brings sad memory. It's not necessarily true.
Okay, so that's amazing. We've been saying a lot on the studio, and I'm sure everybody watching this is excited and learning one or two things. But then we have to go on a really quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue on this discussion.
All right, welcome back from that break. Don't forget the program is still Hitches and Voices on independent television and radio. Don't forget we are broadcasting simultaneously on radio and on television, and I want to say a very big thank you to our radio audience. Don't forget our first love was radio. We've been on radio before we came on television. And I was in a cab a few days ago and I met a man who somehow recognized me and said, oh, I used to listen to you a lot on radio. And I felt quite excited about that we've not lost our radio audience. So shout out to all of you who listen to us on radio. And welcome to our new family on TV. We're still on our subject, debunking myth and misconception about persons with disability, and Becky was taking us through all the myths and misconceptions people have about us.
Yes, and like Mr. Kingsley said, I've been going through a lot of misconception. That's in case you're just joining us now. But sir, I have a question. How do you help a person, how do I put it, how do you rewind a person's perspective or misconception when they just meeting you for the first time? So maybe you're just meeting, this person is just meeting you for the first time, this person realized that you're visually impaired, and of course everybody will act a certain way or say something. So how do you undo situations like that, especially when the person is just meeting you for the first time? Like, how do you handle situations like that?
Oh, personally,
yes.
Because there's no generic way. We all handle it differently. But personally, I think it's just for me to be myself. Okay. Unlearning disability myth and misconception is probably not what you would do in a day. Sure. So you just try and be yourself as much as you can. Over time, people will get to realize that, oh, it's not as bad as I thought of it. It's not as bad as I imagined. But when you're someone who can express yourself, you can own your own, you know exactly what you're doing. I mean, first impression also matters. Because people come to you and they think, oh, this person might be sad, or probably not educated. And when they engage you and they're like, oh, so wow, that's good. So their perception, their mindset begins to change gradually. So I don't try to do so much personally. Okay. I just be myself, and in being myself, I know definitely that you're going to figure out a lot of things and change your perception about my disability. Yes.
Okay, that's true. That's amazing, because I have to point back to when I first met Mr. Kingsley. I was surprised. I was like, sir, there's no way you tell me Mr. Kingsley is visually impaired, because it was amazing. We're having a beautiful conversation throughout. And I remember saying, sir, can I ask you about the elephant in the room? Because I wanted you to clarify all of it for me. And I would say it's been amazing so far. I've not had a reason to say, okay, this is where I should ask. I shouldn't act myself. I shouldn't talk a certain way. I shouldn't ask a certain question because of the way you responded to my question. So you saying you being yourself has a lot to play in all of this. It's amazing. And I want to ask, is there any other thing you want to like share with us?
No, I mean, you've not said the one I was waiting for you to say. I mean, people wonder whether we have love life.
Oh, yes.
Whether we can go into relationships, yes. Whether we can get married
or have kids.
That's something a lot of persons with disabilities struggle with. Because a lot of people just feel like, persons with disability can't have love life, can't go into a relationship, and can't get married. That's not true. And this might shock you. Maybe it's my personal survey. Maybe you go and find out the stats. I feel like most persons with disability marry the most beautiful women on the planet.
Wow, I have to check that.
Particularly those with visual impairment. Wow. I sometimes wonder they should investigate these people. Are they really visually impaired? How do they, cop some of these beautiful ladies for themselves? So going into relationships is a thing of the heart. People can fall in love with whoever they want to fall in love with. Sure. Love is inspired by several things. You can love people for different reasons. So to hold on to love as if it's an exclusive preserve for people who don't have disability is a very, very wrong misconception. So we can indeed fall in love. People can fall in love with us, and and get married to us. Another one I know is the fact that people think we only make friends around ourselves. That persons with disability only make friends with persons with disability. That's so not true. Personally, most of my friends don't even have disability.
Wow.
I have more friends without disability than friends with disability. And in any case, even if I choose to have more friends with disability, it's not because of my disability that has influenced that. It might just be that those are the people I find more interesting, more people I feel I can relate with. However, for the deaf, it's a little bit different. And I think Cynthia, our sign language interpreter, would agree with me on that. Because we have what we call the deaf culture. Trust is a big issue in the deaf community. Because a deaf person cannot necessarily hear you, he tends not to trust you so much.
Wow.
So the deaf culture is a concept where deaf people tend to move with themselves more because they trust themselves more. They can understand themselves more. So you are talking, he doesn't know what you are saying. How is he going to trust whether you are speaking on his behalf? Yes. So, but that's why it is exciting for a deaf person when you can sign.
Yes.
When you understand sign language, a deaf person is usually very fascinated, very excited. They want to, They want to be your friend.
I need to learn how to sign.
You should be signing by now. I mean, Cynthia Godwin I can attest to this. The reason why she's very big in the deaf community today is because she can sign. Wow. And so naturally, deaf people gravitate towards her. They trust her, they believe in her. And for every other person who can sign, it's the same thing I've experienced. And so for the deaf, it might be slightly different that they cluster around themselves. It's because of the fact that they feel more comfortable with themselves. But it's not so for other clusters with disability. For people who are visually impaired, for example, I think they even make more friends, outside their visually impaired family. So it's not true that persons with disability will only make friends, with ourselves. So that's a myth that needs to be debunked. I'm sure my friends who are watching right now will be like,
You're saying a good point. And so, but living in Nigeria as a man that is visually impaired, what's we've listed a couple of misconceptions, but what are the few that you still encounter like day to day? Are there some certain misconceptions that you encountered every day, or maybe some days as a man living in Nigeria?
I don't know if I'll call this a misconception, but it's just unsolicited prayers sometimes.
Oh.
Yes, the fact that people still think I need a miracle or we need a miracle. We are a very religious lot in this part of the world. People still feel it's an abnormal for you to have a disability, that God did not create you so. And so don't accept it. Of course I have accepted it. My accepting it is what has made me move thus far in life. If I was in denial, I probably would be somewhere, still sucking over my disability. So accepting it has nothing to do with my faith. My faith in God is a personal thing. It's a personal relationship. And I'm not even sure. In fact, I know this for a fact that God is not angry with me. God is happy with me. And that my visual impairment has nothing to do with my salvation. God is not going to give me a pass to heaven because I'm visually impaired. I have to work out my own salvation. So if that will not be an excuse for God, I don't know why you feel bothered so much about it. So that's one thing I feel a bit uncomfortable about when people walk up to me and want to offer me unsolicited prayers. I do want prayers, but when I don't know you, you don't just randomly walk up to me and say you want to pray for me. I probably am not in that state of mind.
Oh, okay, that's amazing. And since we'll be rounding up very soon, so I want to ask this last one. I think this is also one that is very common, and I think before joining NAVID, I was also in this department. It's wanting to always help.
I would like to know that department.
The department of misconception, wanting to always help, wanting to, you see a person, maybe a physically challenged person, and you want to help. The person did not really ask for it. You want to help, please, let me do this for you without the person asking. So what do you have to, can you throw?
Well, it depends. It's a matter of context. If people see me at the road attempting to cross and they offer to assist me, I think I will welcome that.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting and you just walk up to me and say, you want to help me. I don't know how that works. But I think we should be very careful with this one so we don't scare people from actually assisting persons with disability. Whether we like it or not, we need one form of assistance or the other. But I think it's the mindset that is the question. When you think we can't help ourselves at all.
You're very dependent when you think.
Yes. For people on wheelchair, for example, you don't see them on the wheelchair sitting and just start wheeling them. No, they don't like that. You need to ask if they want to be wheeled.
True.
So when you do that, they might not want to, they might want to. And if they want to, you can then help.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. And so, sir, is there any other thing you want to say? Any other thing you want to contribute before we round up?
Just to say that I hope you were jotting some of these points and that you've learned a bit of some of the things we've said today, that disability is a normal lifestyle. If you understand our peculiarities and know how to work with them, we're just regular people. And I don't even like the idea of segregating us and thinking about us as different set of human beings from every other human being that exists. I believe we are all humans. We share the same human characteristics, and so there's nothing that is particularly fundamentally too different between us. The only difference is that we have certain limitations that should give us certain rights and privileges. Outside that, we are humans and should be treated, you know, as such. And that's the basis for this conversation today. And I think it's been a very exciting one. We've come to a wrap for today. Don't forget, Hitches and Voices came to you courtesy Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, NAVID. Just in case you're watching or listening on radio and you love what we do at NAVID, you want to support, you want to be a part of our journey at NAVID, you can visit us at our secretariat, number 34 Arosa Street, off Sokbomba Road, here in Benin City. You can check us on our various social media platforms, see what we do at NAVID, and be a big supporter of NAVID. It's a wrap on today's program. Becky, your final thoughts?
Okay, so I want to say these are misconceptions that needs to be changed. So I believe from watching this, you've learned one or two things. Just put them into practice, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing for you too. Thanks for following us on Hitches and Voices.
All right, till next week, spot the hitch and be a voice.